Hey guys, today I want to talk about the Pokemon card market as a whole because it might be cooked. And let's start off this video by just saying, obviously, I am someone who is heavily invested in the business as well as in collecting and investments per se. I have lots of sealed products, some single cards, graded cards, all of the above. So perhaps my view is a bit influenced by what's going on, but let's try to give as much of an objective view as possible and see what's really going on, because currently I'm seeing a lot of negative sentiment around the market because people are seeing it as really bad because a lot of, first of all, the hype stuff, like, Prismatic isn't chasing new highs anymore, and we have, like, maybe like 151, all those like really hyped up stuff from, you know, just a couple months ago that were reaching new highs every day are now slowly starting to retrace. And the general consensus I'm seeing is that it's not a market crash but a correction, which is healthy. Prices slowly start to drop, a little bit, just to be more reasonable. And how I see that is that, and what I potentially expect is that, going into the 30th anniversary next year, we might continue to see price increases. After this dip, they start to increase again because of the, 30, the hype, bringing in more people. More people get excited about the hobby when, hype stuff like a 30th anniversary releases. But, it could still keep dropping, but a lot of people probably are anticipating that things can start to go up again or continue to rise as the 30th anniversary is released. But as of right now, a lot of things are falling, especially graded cards. Some of my graded cards were, have fallen like what, 20, 30, 40% in value since, a couple months ago. And it's not tragic because, they were so obviously overvalued, overhyped at that point, but it still hurts to see. As well as, we see a lot of sealed booster boxes tracing back a bit. A lot of the hype was like Destined Rivals journey together because there's no reason they should be that expensive for a 2025 release. A lot of Japanese cards, a lot of boxes are tracing back for the new releases, and the newest releases aren't reaching as crazy prices as they were a couple months ago. As well as pretty much anything, single cards, they're all trending back a little bit more to be a little bit more reasonable, despite how crazy they still are. Like, still right now, I picked up like what? I picked up like 400 packs like a week ago, and they were like, it was still like, it was like above MSRP or roughly MSRP. There's no like deals where you can buy like 1,000 packs below MSRP anymore. So that's why we're not completely screwed. So anyone that's panicking, saying, oh, the end is here and the bubble is burst, we're entering a bear market, is just wrong, because I still cannot buy packs in bulk below MSRP. It's still roughly MSRP or a little bit under at the cheapest. Like if I'm buying like Surging or Journey Together, Temporal, stuff like that, that people don't really want. It's way lower than before, but still not where we used to be. We're still at a higher low than we were last year or 2 years ago, So definitely it's not, the world is not ending, and it's not a reason to panic sell. There's never a reason to panic sell, because if you have $100,000 in Pokemon cards, you better bet that you can survive if all that burns down tomorrow, or else you should really reconsider what you have and consider other asset classes. But also, of course, if you had $100,000 in cards that you thought would go up in value or at least maintain their value, and they dropped to zero or dropped 50%, you'd be sad, of course. But still, the end is not near, and there is optimism going into next year. But I want to talk about right now. Right now, I would say it's a great buying opportunity. I haven't really seen what many people have been doing because, you know, I just haven't been watching that many of the people, what they've been doing with the videos. Maybe YouTube's not just not pushing them to me, but me personally, I've been buying tons of packs, tons of loose packs, because they sell incredible, and I can now lower prices for customers because they've fallen down a bit. And sealed boxes as well, Japanese boxes. I'll go into that in another video, but overall, I've been buying. I spent over $12,000 in the last month purchasing sealed product, and but also I will be selling some items, even with, you know, hypes of like, if my 151 UPCs are not worth 2,000 anymore, they're only worth 1,500. I still would consider selling them because, you know, cash flow is king, and I bought them for 120 bucks at Costco last year. So why do I care? And it's, you know, the opportunity cost sometimes is just not worth it with the super hype stuff because you just can't predict them if they keep crashing or not. So that's always been my thesis when it comes to sealed Pokemon cards, is I will never say no to cash. It's very rare unless I have like a very like one of one item or very limited item that I really enjoy having like in my possession as a collection piece, plus it's gonna 10x in the next 10 years or 100x in the next 10 years, yeah, I would hold on to that. But pretty much 99% of products I could sell it tomorrow and not be sad about it. As long as it's not my Hidden Fates collection, I really don't care much if I sell it or not, because I'm not worried about if the price drops or not, because there's so many opportunities all the time. I will deploy that cash somewhere else. And to grow a business, you got to be able to, you know, part with inventory and liquidate, to look for new opportunities, to expand, to grow. But overall, the market has been trending down lately, and it's kind of cooked for anyone that was, you know, hoarding product that they just bought. You know, they were buying during the highs like 3 months ago. It's pretty cooked, and those people are definitely shivering in their boots right now because they're down like 10-20%, and they got no cash to buy more. They got bills to pay, and they've got $50,000 in cardboard that they need to sell. Anyone who has the money should probably be buying right now, or 100% you should be holding. If you can afford to hold it, you should hold, unless you are having a similar plan to me and you want to deploy the capital somewhere else. If you've got like a $2,000 box or $1,000 box or $500 box and you want to sell it and instead buy a bunch of cheaper boxes, cheaper packs as they fall, that's a great idea. If you're panic selling, you know, below market, like if the market's like 200, you list it for 180 just to clear everything out, you're making a mistake. But do as you please, because again, you have cash in your pocket, you're hedging the risk of it all going to zero, but you're also missing out on a lot of potential upside. Overall, I think there's a lot of negative market sentiment right now, with people thinking the bull market's ending, it's all going to be over, though it might be over soon. It's likely going to last for at least one more year with 30th anniversary. All of us could be wrong about that though, and it could all crash within the next months, but who knows. You should hedge accordingly depending on how much cash you have, how much products you have. If you need the money immediately, maybe sell some stuff as products are still at higher lows. But that's just really what I think right now I'm gonna still be buying. It's not as it's not as terrible as people make it out to sound right now, and it's also definitely not like jumping for joy, we are all gonna be rich. But it's really moments like these that will define the winners and the losers, to see what people do. Because 5 years ago, when you could buy ETBs for 30-40 bucks, I have bought a case of Silver Tempest ETBs for 30 bucks a piece, Canadian dollars, because the distro was just clearing them out. And Of course, I'm not that confident, and I bought like 100 cases. I only bought like a couple, but a couple cases better than none. So it's in the times where people are panicking and things are going down. If you buy it and you make the right decision, that's where you'll shine. But overall, it is trending downwards all across the boards. I've seen graded cards drop, Japanese cards drop, English sealed, English singles, everything is dropping a little bit, but it's just a correction. Nothing really to be worried about. It is cooked for some people, but there's a little optimism in the future. Right now is the time to be buying. But let me know what you guys think. If you think it's the end and you want to sell, let me know what you think in the comments. Always open to hear. But that's going to be it for this video, and subscribe to join the journey.